Hey, Virgo. All right. You have a lot of major arcanas here. The most of, you're the third to the last sign I'm doing more than anyone else at this point. And it's all centered around this Ten of Wands. And I love the Ten of Wands in this deck because this is the after tarot. So the traditional Rider Waite, the guy has 10 wands on his back, or girl, whatever. And he's completely bent over and overburdened by these wands. And I've always seen it as like, okay, whenever you're in this situation, you're overburdened, you have too many responsibilities. Probably most of them are someone else's that you've taken on, to just throw down the bundle of wands and really look at them and only pick back up the ones that are actually your burdens to carry. So I really feel like that's exactly what happens in this picture. He's thrown them all down and he's resting, but he's like, you know what? I'm just only this one wand out of those 10 were truly my burden to carry, or not even burden, my responsibility. We all have to have responsibilities in this world. That's part of being a human. Although some people, and you can tell, try very hard to not carry responsibility and to get some nice person like us or you, or maybe you're the one doing this to someone else. It could go either way. But look at all these other burdens he carried for someone else because they try to get out of responsibility. And so I do feel like you're going to have sort of this enough. Like, no, I've had it. This, and it doesn't have to be reactive, but like at least in your brain, you're like, no, I'm done. I am done. I'm not carrying other people's burdens. I'm not carrying responsibilities. It could be that, hey, kids, you need to. I hear this happens a lot. Like the teenager comes down and is like, why aren't my favorite pants clean or whatever? And you're just like, you know what? If you really want certain clothes, like I haven't done laundry. I don't do laundry every single day in anticipation of what your Royal Highness may want. Okay, you don't have to be sarcastic like that. But let me show you how to do laundry, and then you can do laundry. So it could be something as simple as that, but it could also be, maybe you have to have come to, whoever meeting with your significant other and saying, hey, we need to reassess how things get done around here because I am not the default parent. I am not the default bill payer. I'm not the default house cleaner. I'm not the default making sure the oil gets changed. I'm not the default you know what I mean? Like, how did this all of a sudden become my responsibility? Or maybe you have friends that burden you with their problems but are never really there for you. So so some of these things could be a conversation. Some could be letting go of people completely or situations because, sometimes it's not even, when you really start thinking it, not even worth it to try to change it. It's better just to be like, okay, that's just not a good thing for me to be involved in. I mean, you're going to have to obviously decide for yourself. So it's sort of out of this type of situation that you really are like, why do I do that? How have I gotten here? Because you're like, if everyone has to be responsible for their stuff, I need to be responsible for the fact that I allowed myself to take on all these burdens. Why do I do that? Why do I feel the need to do that? What is in me where I feel like I have to give to the point of exhaustion? Why do I do that? Because for me, the wands are energy. It's motivation, enthusiasm, action. It's that energy to get you up and actually do things, right? In the tarot, you have the swords. It's the thought behind it. Cups are the emotions behind it. Pentacles are the money to do it, but you need to actually physically get up and go do things. And that's what the wands are. So now that you've had this understanding, that's where she comes in. You're like, wait a minute, what is it within me that where I feel that I have to carry other people's burdens. What is that about? And really exploring that. And there is some sort of wisdom here where you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. And you're going to feel really vulnerable, but you're going to have the strength to make these changes, to say, nope, I'm putting down everyone else's wands and I'm only carrying my own. And I'm not going to be made to feel bad about that. But it's going to feel very vulnerable to you because people know you. People are going to be like, God, what's their problem? They always do everything, but it's just because you always do and you always have doesn't mean you always should. So it's going to be like, you're going to have to be kind of brave about this. And I think it's going to feel uncomfortable for a lot of you, but it's going to be so freeing at the same time. And you're going to be like, I have so much energy. You're even going to have more money because maybe you buy things for everyone. You're always, you feel like you have to spend money for everyone. Take on that burden too. But you're going to be like, oh my God, I have all this energy. You're going to be happier. In the long run, those around you that are worth keeping are going to be happier because you're not going to be exhausted and stressed out and freaking out all the time because you're running around doing everything for everyone. And then you're going to start to say, you know what? I'm going to put my energy towards what I want. This isn't selfish. This is managing your energy for what you want to get out of life. And it doesn't mean you're not going to pay whatever is an appropriate part of the bills or pull your own weight. You're just not going to take everyone else's. And it may feel like that for you because you're so used to doing everything. You're going to have to sort of be really mindful that you don't slip back in again and do things for people because you have something inside of you somewhere where you feel like you're not a good person if you don't do something for everyone. So how we get hardwired probably when we're a kid. I mean, I always suggest therapy for everyone. Doesn't mean there's something wrong. It means you're interested in understanding and improving yourself. And like, why do I feel the need to do everything for everyone? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, why do I have a hard time caring for myself the way I care for other people? This whole thing, though, is very healing for you. You're going to feel like refreshed and renewed, and like you can have hopes and dreams. So I think a lot of this happens. It doesn't only, but if you have kids, we spend so much time and energy and money and put our dreams aside. And so it may be that you've gotten to the point where either the kids are old enough or you're like to your significant other, hey, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start going to the gym 4 times a week. And you need to be the one to be home and cook dinner and shuffle the kids around and things like that. Or, whatever, fill in the blank. It could even be at work. Maybe you're going to leave your job and get a new job because there's a dysfunction in the office where if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. Sometimes we can create those situations ourselves, though, because people are just like, fine, she's just going to redo it anyway or complain. So you have to look and make sure that you haven't become that person. And so people are just like, I'm not touching it because if she has anything or he has anything to do with it, they're just going to redo it anyway. This Lover's card is kind of a one-off for me and the rest of with what I'm getting for this reading. You can have a loving, happy relationship without losing yourself or giving too much of yourself. You don't have to overgive to get someone to love you. There's this very down-to-earth, stable, calm, rational, practical. This is the Pentacles are, you ever heard that, oh, they're down to earth. They're salt of the earth people. They're just dependable, reliable. Those are all things that describe people with this earth energy. And I feel like that's someone that could be coming in. Like they're again, the dependability. Like you'll find someone that you both, instead of getting in a situation, there it seems to always find like the people who are real takers always find the people that are real givers, which makes sense if you think about it. But what happens is that, that wears on the givers, and I think they're always, again, sometimes they don't let the other person give, or they think, oh, if I just give and give, they'll give and give. But sometimes they just take and take. So I feel like you will find people once you come to this realization, and have some like self-respect and some boundaries. You will bring people into your life that do match, um, this give and take that you desire, instead of doing everything and getting completely overburdened. But what I'm most focused on is this Ace of Wands at the bottom. It's this you'll have this refreshed energy and motivation and enthusiasm and excitement to bring things into your life. This with this is a big deal. Um, no more like excuses, no more I can't do that because I'm doing all these other things. It's time to put some of your interests and things that have gotten put aside for whatever reason. It's time to take action on those, and really start sort of living. I hate to kind of say it that way, but in some area of your life. I feel like that was a hard message to get out, and I'm not even super happy with this one either. But maybe it's just sort of a hard message to deliver this month. I wish you a wonderful month. These are positive things that are happening. And I'll see you at the next video. Take care.